Hello, if you have a sense that something might be wrong with you, but you can't quite put your finger on it, then this might interest you. So have you ever felt like somebody's pulled the plug, that all your energy's just gone, and you think there's something wrong with you? And how to make a start on finding out what it is that's wrong with you. But first, oh, I did this last time. But I'm Will Perry, and I help make complex theories simple. It's not good enough to understand, we need to take action. I'm not clinically trained, but I've been an executive coach since 2001. I was head of action learning at the BBC. But in the last 13 years, I've been focused on this one question. Why do we get so stuck, and what's it got to do with this shadow side? How I help people. Firstly, I can do it for you. I can work really intensely, closely, or I can do it with you in the small online groups. Or you can do it yourself with the online program. But also I've got lots of free content and free programs, so come and find out more. Do like, subscribe and share. But here is the video of the day. That's me. I need to get better at pressing that button and remembering that button. So I kind of do that, so it's you're clear on what it is I do. So what it is, what if you've got that feeling that something's wrong? And can you relate to this? You've ever the context of having maybe in a relationship a really deep, gritty, uncomfortable discussion, yet you feel like somebody's just pulled the plug and your energy just whoomph. Or maybe it's after a heightened period of anxiety and you just feel like that literally somebody's pulled the plug on you. It's an interesting feeling. And does it lead you to thinking that there's something wrong with you? Because I know in the past, when I've felt this, it was like, yeah, there's something wrong with me. And I've searched, and somebody who was a homeopath said, oh, that sounds like adrenal fatigue. It's like, right, I thought, okay. And I found out, searched, looked at adrenal fatigue and found out what that was. And it was like, oh, yeah. And actually, when I had these homeopathic things to put on my didn't change it. What did change it was actually the relationship, because I was on a heightened level of stress, but didn't realise. And what was happening was, sorry, that's my phone. It probably won't go off, but I'll press that button anyway. So, why did I make that noise? Am I on a horse? So what I found out after separating from my second marriage, this was that the stress levels were starting to go, and it was like then I was realising how stressed I was, and all these different things were sort of dawning on me. Why am I getting all these pings? It's cool. I don't know whether you heard that one or not, but I'm sure you did. So the kind of stress that was going on made me realise what was really at fault, what was really at the heart of it. But it was in these kind of conversations when there was like a tough conversation coming. I'm having fun with it today. A tough conversation coming. What I'd do was I wouldn't have an answer for it. I can remember that quite a few times of this. I'd have no answer for it, about money or responsibility or doing something different, and I'd have no answer for it. And what I'd do is it was like feel like somebody pulled the plug, and I'd honestly be wanting to sleep at that moment. And isn't that interesting? Can you relate to this feeling of, oh my god, I could just and literally fall asleep in the middle or in the midst of this like really difficult conversation I have no answer for. I don't know why I do this, I don't know what, and it's nothing bad, but it's just like attitude towards money for me it was. And I found it really difficult and really challenging because that was a bit of a trigger for me, and I would just that feeling is such a strong weird feeling. I used to have on my own later on. I used to have duvet days when I was living on my own. I wasn't working well. I wasn't getting the clients that I wanted to do in my own business, and I'd have time in between having the boys or something, my kids, and I'd be right. Come on, I need to work on this. I need to work on this and do something with my business, and then I'd have this feeling. It's like, oh, isn't this interesting? What's going on? And of course, I searched about this adrenal fatigue and. It's like, wow, what is going on? So I felt like there was something wrong with me, and I'd go into this shutdown. And why I say diva days is because I just like God, I've done nothing, and yet I'd slept well, but oh, are you yawning? And can you relate to this? Because it's such a weird but dominating feeling, and you could say it's kind of like mild depression, which in a way it was, because I was searching for all the answers, and all I came up with was, I've used this pitch before. It's like, I'm sorry, It's like, I don't know, I'm sorry, and it's the weirdest feeling, that feeling that somebody's pulling the plug. Can you relate to it? So have you ever felt like that, and when your energy completely shuts down? And it could be that you relate to being on a constant level of stress, a heightened level of stress where it's just normal. That's how you normally operate. You think that's just normal, but is it? Is it, maybe it's normal for your life? Maybe you've had that all your life. Maybe you've been brought up around that heightened level of stress, and that's become normal for you. But what you need to do is take time to consider: is that normal, or is that the environment you're being around, or maybe the environment you've been brought up around? Often things relate to kind of traumas. Well, I've seen this recently quite a lot. I think it's becoming a more popular PTSD, post-traumatic syndrome disorder, but childhood post-traumatic syndrome, and that's kind of it's starting to become more prevalent, become more searchable, people are becoming more aware that it's the stuff from your past that's really informing what's going on now. That's the cause of it, but it's like we don't see that. That's all behind us. We don't. It's like, what? No, I don't have that. I don't have childhood post-traumatic stress disorder. What are you talking about? But people often, and I don't know whether you've heard this from Gabor Mate. He says it very clearly, but trauma doesn't have to be a thing that happened to you. A specific traumatic event. It can be the growing up around walking on eggshells, growing up in a battlefield. Those are phrases that I use that are common use as well. To describe kind of the trauma that you were brought up around, and that's trauma, and that informs who you are. That informs your brain. It informs the development of your brain, how your brain develops, how the sensitivity to negative emotions develops. Literally, it changes the development in the brain, so you become more sensitive to the negative emotions. And guess what? It's not just negative emotions of others. It's your own negative emotions. So that's a bit of a bind and a bit of a bugger. So what happens is, maybe you're noticing these feelings around anxiety and stress and energy just through the floor, and it's like, what's going on? What is wrong with me? What's wrong? And it can be a really difficult thing. And like I did, maybe, you can point towards, this sounds right. Go and Google it and come up with Google Doc to it. It's like, anxiety burnout, adrenal burnout and adrenal fatigue. And it's like, gosh, why do I do that? I don't get, I'm chilled, I'm cool, I'm happy, I'm blah, blah, blah. Underneath the surface, I was, I've experienced, stress, but also stress around myself, which is just awful. This kind of whole stress this era of stress. Oh no, that way. Oh no, that way. Oh, love doing that. That stress that's just never ending. It's always there. And it's, you can, when you're happy, you're having a cool time with other people, perhaps that's, you don't notice it's not there. But when you're with yourself or doing something for yourself, you ever tried to put yourself first and struggled and failed? And why do you go around in circles? Darting, all this stuff. Why can you not look after yourself? Why can you not put yourself first? Because you've got the kids to look after, because you've got all this other stuff that comes first. But to save more people, to look after more people, to look after the kids properly, you can do it much better when you save yourself first, when you put yourself first. But that's more easily said than done. So what is it that's going around? What's at the bottom of this? I'm not covering that in this, but this is what I do. The work I became so fascinated with. It's like, what is wrong with me that it feels like this all the time? That what is why am I getting this? Because it wasn't adrenal burnout. But it kind of, the symptoms matched that, but it wasn't the fault of the adrenal. Why was the adrenal system under so much stress? Because guess what? I was putting it under so much stress. But guess why? Why was I putting it under so much stress? Was it my wife's fault? Was it it points more towards the the stuff in the past that had led me to this belief. And I'm sorry is kind of just what goes in with it. But if I take that out, oh, I'm sorry, a negative belief. And that's a killer, that negative belief that, because what is a belief? People go to war about beliefs, don't they? Religions, beliefs, something that isn't maybe evidenced as real, but the belief is there. Belief's a strong thing. So when you have this negative belief about yourself, it can mess everything up, and it informs everything, right? Everything about you. So when you think there's something wrong, then you look for the evidence externally, but not so much internally. So my invitation to you is to start looking internally, and to me that would be nasal gazing. That would be you could spend your lifetime doing that. People used to go to India, didn't they, to find themselves, and it's such an irony because they find themselves in here. They were there all the time. So the irony around that is that discovering more, you can waste so much time on that journey of discovery. So getting a guide to help you is really important. Obviously, some people go for spiritual stuff, some people go for religious stuff. So, and I guess I'm more the pragmatic, what works for me here and now, what's not so woo-woo. And I don't mean any disrespect for that. It's not cards for me. It's not astrology for me. It's tangible, practical, proven. That's cool. Scientific, maybe. Science of the neurology. Definitely. So all those compounds, and being a coach for so many years, it's like we can change our behaviors, but sometimes how do we even see them? And that's this stuff for me. And it's like becoming more commonplace. But that's a hell of a journey. So finding a good guide is really important. There's tons of posts. Go and search and find out stuff. Or if what I'm saying relates to you, then come and find out. Look at more of my posts. Look at more about my my videos. So if you don't know where they are, just come and ask. Drop me a message. But say what your particular thing is. I got the sense of this or that, or stress, or relationship stuff. It'd be I can help you and point you in the direction that might be more useful to you to help you save time, because it's been a journey of a quest of 13 plus years for me. And it's only recently that I found that I'm really getting to a real good level. So it's like, oh, interesting. So also I will mention what I've got, and I did this last time, is that I'm doing a new program. I'm updating my program with kind of the stuff that I've learned in the last 2 years particularly. So I'm doing a new program from the perspective of me here now, rather than the perspective of where I was kind of 3.5 years ago when I did the last program. And it's really, there's some core elements that are just awesome, and I'm keeping those. But there's so much new stuff that I've developed over the last year, and I have the pathway going. People go on the pathway going through that. And in the last few months, 6 months, so with the personality profiling, it's just like, oh, really cool. So I'm doing a new program, but I'm doing it in a beta, so you can join me on the beta for just £47 to book your place. Pre-book it now, but I'm building the course with you, with the people on the beta, and you get to inform it. You get tons more than you would do if it's a finished product and you just buy into the finished product. So you get tons more of my time and my focus than you would normally, and that's because I'm building it as we go along, and I'll be starting building it in the next month, which is exciting to me because I got loads going on with it, and it'll be exciting to start pinning it down and planning it. Also, you get lots of one-to-one time with me that you wouldn't normally get, and it's a reduced price. So if you want to book yourself, and I want to help you basically define the steps to help you fly, to feel light, rather than all this heaviness and apologizing for who you are, what you are, or having the energy just to, wow, that's just such an amazing thing that your body can react to the beliefs in your head in such a way that you just shut down. It's crazy. If this is of interest to you, just get in contact. Message me, ask me some questions, and yeah, come and have a conversation. Hope that's interesting. Give me some feedback on that. I'd love to know what your experience of this is, or what you do, how you your body sabotages yourself, your brain sabotages you physically in those difficult circumstances. Hope that's of interest. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.